You have spent your whole life thinking that you are moving through a solid world. You are programmed to believe that the world is an external, physical environment, composed of solid, persistent objects with clear edges that emerge from the past and persist in time. But as we have seen, the apparently solid objects that make up this world are not solid at all. We've looked closely at solid things, such as tables and iPhones, and found that they do not exist as temporally extended, unchanging objects. There is nothing in your iPhone that is traveling from one moment to the next. So here's what I want you to think about. If there are no solid, persistent objects to make up a solid world, there is no solid, persistent world that you are in. If you find yourself in a sea of momentary events, of iPhones and tables and bridges, and no one moment of this world is becoming the next, can you really continue to think of the world as an extended, solid place that you are in? You can't go through door number 2 until you let go of your solid world. As long as you look around you and see solid, persistent objects, all extending in time, you will believe that you are in a solid, extended environment. You will feel that you are in a place. Ontologically, your self-conception will line up with the environment you feel you are in. You will think of your own being as a thing, something that exists and persists, not as something that occurs. In order to stop encountering the world as a solid place, you have to rethink how you encounter it. All your life, you've been told the world is a certain way, and you have encountered it that way. So what you have to do here now is turn off this autopilot. Instead of seeing the world that you've been told is there, the solid place, you need to start encountering the world that is actually occurring, the phenomenal event. Let's review how you've been taught to encounter the world. You've been raised to believe that the world is a matter of Cartesian space, and that you exist in Cartesian space. In Cartesian space, the following rules apply to all phenomena. Objects are defined by clear edges, they occupy definite volumes, and are separated by empty space. Objects have inherent identity, and this identity belongs to the objects themselves. What an object is defined by the qualities an object has. Objects exist in linear time and persist from moment to moment. So, when you look at this moment of boat and ocean, for example, you see it according to your Cartesian programming. The boat stops at its edges, and it's surrounded by empty space. It's the same boat that was here 10 minutes ago, yesterday, and the day before. The beach is sandy and warm, and is clearly separated from the boat and the ocean. The ocean is blue and a bit rough. The wind moving across the ocean is making the waves, but that wind is separate from the waves. This all sounds very reasonable, and we have apprehended every phenomenal moment of our lives exactly this way. We apprehend each phenomenal moment as an assemblage of solid, separate entities, none of which depend on each other or us for their identity. The identity of objects resides within objects, and everything is arriving from the past. But if you encounter this moment as dependently arising, all these so-called separate things are actually deeply interwoven, and there are no empty spaces or edges anywhere. This exact phenomenal moment of boat is arising from 3 generations of a fisherman's family, salt air, damp sand, years of being afloat in the ocean, a forest 10 miles inland, the drying wind of this exact late morning, and so on. The boat extends endlessly through both this moment and many other moments, and its edges cannot be found. And the same goes for the beach, the ocean, and so on. And none of this, boat, beach, ocean, or anchor, exists in something called time. All of this is arising as this exact phenomenal moment. In the next moment, another arrangement of boat, beach, and wind will arise dependently on forest, 3 generations of hands, the rotation of the planet, and so on. That moment does not come from this moment. It arises out of 3 generations of hands, salt air, ocean, and so on. There is no external container of time that things are in. Time and being are a single expression. Each arrangement of world is a complete moment of time. So how on earth do we train ourselves to encounter the world this way? How do we stop generating the solid world that we've been moving through all our lives? By this point in the training, you already have the basic skills necessary to do this. You can recognize dependent arising. You can see emptiness. You understand how imputed meaning makes you a part of everything you see. You know how the 5 skandhas work. What I want to do is boil this down into a few plain and simple rules for you. If you stick to these rules, you will stop generating your solid world.